Okay, so hey guys, I have a new file, a new demo application. Okay, in this case, it's a little app made. It's a little client, Angular 7 client. It was Angular 6, but I updated all the packages, so now it's an Angular 7 GraphQL client. Okay, let me show you a little bit. Let's go to new post. We can add reset post added. Let's just say that something, because this is just to show you. Okay, and we get that, and let's go to Mongo. If you remember, I have this GraphQL server built with Node.js and Express, and of course MongoDB. This is where I'm getting and storing the data, okay, that is being parsed, well, not parsed, but that is being connected to GraphQL. It's the same as Apollo on the client and Apollo on the server. So let's take a look at what you need to install. Okay, you need to run this ng add Apollo Angular, okay, and it will create a file called, let me show you, GraphQL module.ts. Okay. I thought, no, it doesn't say. Okay. One thing you need to set is the URL of your GraphQL server. So open the new GraphQL module and set the URI variables. In this case, you just need to update this URI with your GraphQL endpoint. Okay. They even add a little comment to show you, and just that, it creates the link and it uses in-memory cache. It says everything for you. You just need to update your endpoint, and that's it. That's all the configuration you need to start using Apollo on Angular. So let's go to the code. In case you mind, I have routing implemented. So let's go to app module. Okay, the service is being imported here. Okay, on providers. Oh, because this is the sorry, this is my service. Where the hell is? I think it's yellow with this. Okay, I just installed this theme with the material. I don't know about how these icons are called. I'm still getting used to looking at all these icons and the colors and all that. So okay, this is the service. Okay, we will take a look at this in a bit. Let's go back to app module. So this is all I got installed, where I got added to the imports, okay, and the service. In case you want to take a look at that, let's go. I didn't show you the package.json as I should. Okay, so everything is working with the new release, the new version of Angular 7. So you should be good to go. In case you want to add, this kind of functionality into your Angular 7 application. Okay. Or if you have an Angular 6, This one was Angular 6. That's why I have this. But I updated the modules and I thought something would break, but actually everything is working fine. I didn't have to change anything, so that was pretty good. Okay, we will take a look at some of the new functionality on the front end. I mean, about lists and all that Angular 7 has, also the drag and drop. But we will take a look at that later. So let's keep moving with this. I already showed you that we can add a post. Okay, I didn't set this as a link, so I don't mind really to access this, because you should be able to, in case you need it, to use the route. Let me choose this. Let's go to route. Even I have this Firestore Angular. Okay, you could use a similar approach, setting a new path that accepts an ID. Okay, and just when you click, you retrieve the post using that ID from GraphQL. Okay, so let me open the console. Okay, here it is. It's in another tab or window. So this is what I'm saying. You will get your ID, okay, and you will need to say, let's say post, no, because you will want to access a post, and then here to place the ID that in this case is being returned and is another window. Okay, and is this one. Okay, so let's go back to Mongo Lab, and which one is, okay, this freaking Windows 5B 50. So in this case it would be this one. Okay, just to let you know. I'm not going to close this. Let's go back to this one. So, oh, you can see my bar again. I formatted my PC, so this is a new installation of Windows 8, because I don't give a fuck about Windows 10, but one day I will update. So let's go to what do I need to do? I forgot. I already said, okay. Oh yeah, I was talking about the ID. To set the ID, you know, to get something like to get something like this, and you will be ready to go to get the results of a post. So I think it's time to take a look at what we have here. No, the service. We need to check the service first. Let me see. Apollo Angular. So, okay. In this case, we need to import Apollo from Apollo Angular, okay, and GQL to make the queries from GraphQL tag. Okay, that's the only thing we need to import here. And let's go to the constructor. We need to set this instance a private instance, Apollo client that is going to be an Apollo instance. Okay, this, and that's good. We have this loading and this post variables, both public. One is a boolean that I'm not really using, but you could use, and the other one is an array that is going to store, or that is going to have all the posts objects. So if you remember, um, I had this GraphQL React and GraphQL View clients. So you will see that it's essentially the same. We need to create a name, a variable, and to call our query. Okay. Let me see if I can go to, I think it was HTTP localhost. Why is not okay? Localhost 8000 GraphQL. No, sorry, it was GraphQL. Was it? Yes. So we have our docs, query, posts. Okay. Okay, let me say this. How was this? I haven't used GraphQL in a while. Again, so is it posts? Yeah, I think it is. Oh, posts ID. It's underscore ID. What the hell? Post ID. Let me see if I can get something. Oh, yes. I've been working with Node.js and Firestore and Firebase for cloud functions. So I need to get used to GraphQL again. So what's ID and description? I think it was, yeah, and name. So this post, this post is the query we want. What the hell? So we give a name, okay, to our query. I'm using the same name, so it shouldn't matter if you use another one, but I'm not sure, so I'll stick with the same name. So this is the query I want. Okay. In this case, I'm just asking for ID and name. So this post is the same as this post. Okay. So it's going to return. Let's remove this. It's going to return this. So in this case, I'm just using the name. I will show you. But okay, let's go back. This is the get post. So let's forget about this mutation a little bit. But if you watched the last videos about what the hell is this? Okay, if you watch the last videos about GraphQL and the clients React and Vue, as I said before, it's essentially the same. But the main difference is that here we can set a service with Angular. We can set a service that returns all we want, okay? And we can create our queries here without any problem, and that's good. So let's go. Okay, this is get post. In this case, I'm returning this Apollo client watch query. Okay, that is going to check for changes. It's kind of updating, or that's as what I understood. Let's go back. If I don't, okay, because I don't want to lie. So that's on queries, I think. My freaking mouse is not working. So let's see what is. Okay, the watch query method returns a query reference object which has the value changes property and is an observable. So we don't need to use RxJS, because this watch query will return an observable, okay, with the value changes. My fucking mouse. So this is going to that Apollo client. Okay, remember that that's the instance. we have here from Apollo Angular watch query, which will return, I'm passing here any, which will return an observable, but we need to pass the query as an argument. Okay, so this is a simple, it's kind of like this one. Okay, but in this case you will see that they have this query subscription. Okay, that is a subscription. If I can talk, query subscription is a subscription, okay, object that in this case they are using this one so they can unsubscribe. Okay, so let me go back. So this is essentially the same. In this case, since I'm using a service, I'm just returning what I'm getting from this Apollo client watch query, okay, and the query to execute, that is query this that get all posts, okay, that is the name we have here. So let's go back, okay, and I have these posts because this is getting all the posts. Remember that is this one. Let's go to posts. So what I did is, okay, I said give me that instance of the service that actually be, okay, I will check out later. It's just something I got on my head, but I'm getting this Angular service and making a instance of it, and here I'm importing the subscription from Apollo client util observable. Okay, I'm implementing on init and on destroy on this component, and I'm setting these two variables and a state, and because I think I was going to use this one as in the form, I can't remember. To display something, you can display something using that. So this post array is the array that is going to have those. Wait a second, because I just realized something. Maybe where the hell this thing is? It's in the service, I think. Okay. Yeah, I was like, what? Why the hell do I have this loading and posts? I'm not using them. I'm not using those. What the hell? I thought, okay, maybe I forgot to remove them. Okay, so it's working. I forgot to remove them because I was checking how to implement the service, but I ended up moving everything into another component. Well, not everything, but all those two instances because I didn't need them here. So okay, we can go back. So as I said, this post array is going to store, it's an array, of course, it's going to store our posts. We have this loading state as a boolean, and we have this query subscription that is a subscription that is in the example they got, they're using it in the same component. Okay, but since I am using a service, I need to implement it here. So we create a function, this public posts, that is going to have this query subscription, okay, that is what we have here, and it's going to be equal to the service function, this Apollo Angular service get posts, that is this function remember that it gives us this value changes object, so we can subscribe to that. We get the data at the loading state. Okay, this loading state is going to be this loading, and this post array is going to be data posts. Okay, that if I say console.log, I think I'm consoling, no, data, let's see what it returns. What? Oh, because I'm outside the function, you idiot. So it should be, I have this one here. So it's going to return an array because I'm returning an array from my server. With this name, type name, and all that is going to be set up on the service, on the server, okay, on the Apollo.js server. So that's to show you what is returning, and that's why I don't need to map. I don't need to do anything else. I'm just going to set this to be my array, okay, and I can loop through that on this post component, ng4 let post of post array, and I'm just returning the name, which is this, okay, and that's it for the first component. So we can close this, and we can okay, no, that wasn't the end of that. So of course you need to run this to get to make this function run, but if you want to I'm just unsubscribing because after I get the changes I unsubscribe from this stream, okay, when we change the view. So when I go here, I just unsubscribe from that stream, okay. You should be able to work without setting the unsubscribe, but it's nice to release those those bytes, so you can make another call and subscribe again, okay. So let's go to Apollo service, and this is the mutation. So in this case, let's go back to Apollo. Where is Apollo? Let's go to mutations. Okay, what is this? Basic mutation, a function, this Apollo mutation. I think this is the name of the mutation. Yep, and you subscribe to that. So they have another one here, okay. They're using the same. You need to use this .apollo.mutate to call your mutation and to pass your variables. From there you subscribe to get the data, okay, and if you want to pass an error, you just need to pass an error, and that's it. Okay, it returns an observable that results with Apollo query result. It's the same result we get when we fetch queries. Okay. So let's go to, okay, I'm returning because I'm in a service. I need to pass this to another component, so return this Apollo client that is my instance of Apollo Angular, okay. and we call the mutate function. Inside that we pass this object, this first object. Yes. When we say which mutation, okay, we want to pass. So I have this that at post that is okay, that is this one that is called mutation. The name array post of the mutation. Okay. In this case, I'm using a different name. So see, and these ones are the variables and the type of the variables that we are expecting. So we're expecting name and description, and when we create, this is the actual mutation we have set up on our server. We need to pass the name that is going to be this name variable and the description that is going to be this description variable. Okay, and we return the ID, name, and description from that query. So we pass this variables object that is getting the post data.name. This is really a form, but I will show you. This one is implemented on the component, so this is just a mock-up data in a way, you know, just to say that this is going to be changed inside the component. So we get the name and we get the description from the object we're going to pass. Okay, and after that we refresh the query to update. We need to pass this query, okay, property, and the query we want to refetch, that is all posts. That since we are in a service, okay, and we have everything in the same place, we just need to call it. So let's go to post component. No, this one is already done. Routing, no. Add post. So add post. Okay, I'm importing form group, form control, and validators from Angular Forms. I'm importing Angular Service, okay. Also, because I need this instance of the Angular Service, I'm creating the form, public add post form, that is going to be a new form group with these two form controls, that is name and description. Okay, let's go to the view. So this is the name of our form group, add post form, that is the same as, what the hell is I need to double click. Okay, that is this one, add from post. Remember that it should match the name. It must match the name. You need this form control name to manage the to get these two values when you call add post form that value. Okay, and just to submit. So when we submit this information, we call this add post function. Okay, that in this case, let's go back to the component. This is the one. Okay, function to add the post to GraphQL node Mongo server. So this is the function we are calling when we are submitting the form, that is getting this form data. Okay, that is in this case the values of the inputs that we have in this post form group. So this is turning into the object we had here as post data. So we say let new post is going to be same as, it's going to be an object with the name, I mean, and description and properties or attributes, but properties I think is, yeah, it's properties. So form data name that is the value of this name, control name. Form control description is the same as this form data description. Okay, it's the value. So after that, to the server, we already have the form data, so we need to pass it to the server. So we call this Apollo Angular service new post. Okay, that is this function new post. Let's check that. Okay, new post, and we pass the object. That is new post. No, and so this is the object that I was talking about before. I got a little confused, but it's not this form data, it's this object that is the same as the name and the description. Okay, we are passing that object. We subscribe to that and we retrieve the data. Okay, in this case, I'm just consoling the log the data. I'm setting this freaking mouse, these values of the name and description to be empty. So let's see how it works. So let's say Angular 7 works. This is the content for the Angular 7 GraphQL demo. Let me go. Okay, let me have this one here. No, this is not it. This one. You click submit. Okay, I forgot that it was going to do that. So we receive this create post object that we have our description and our name and our ID. Okay, let's move that. And if we return to the posts, okay, we receive this Angular 7 works. Okay, because it's refetching. Once we get that the mutation, we need to refetch. Let's go back to here. We need to make this refetch because if we don't do this, we will need to refresh the browser to get the object we just created. Okay, so let's refresh this to see all the changes in the database. Okay, so yeah. Oh, my freaking mouse is not working. Whenever I click, it's opening this menu, although I'm not clicking the right button. You know, I'm not saying right now I'm clicking it, but if I click on the left button, sometimes it's like I'm clicking on the right button. I don't know. So I think that's it. I think that's it for today. Yeah, it's similar to what we have on the other clients, you know, on the other GraphQL clients. So yeah, in case you want to let's say you have your data in the same, what the hell, fucking mouse. In case you have the data, you know, the form here and the data here, you might need to use optimistic responses that is just returning. Let me see if I can find this. Even before the server responds with the result, is a placeholder, okay, that Apollo is going to set on your view, that it will have the information that it has the information you just posted into your server. So, you know, even before, although it doesn't take that long to update with refresh, you know, just to have that information available for your user. And once the server sends the information, okay, it will be replaced to the server response, you know, to use that server response. But yeah, it's fine. You can use that if you have everything on just on the same unit. I mean, damn. I mean the same form and the same posts list on the same view. Okay, you might need to fucking, I can talk, what the hell is going on. You will need to use optimistic response, but in this case, since I'm using different routes, so whenever I return, or not when I return, but after I post this, it refreshes information, and whenever I click on post again to go back, it already has the updated information. Okay, so that's optimistic response, I think it's called the optimistic response. When you pass all the things you have, if I can, okay, all the things you have, even before, I mean, as a placeholder until the response comes back from the server. Okay, that's it. So okay, I think I'm going to leave it here. There's nothing else to show. So you will be able to update your information and all that with mutations. You already know how mutations work. It's similar to the other clients, you know, React and Vue. So yeah, let's place this here. So yeah, I think that's it, and see you on the next one.